This video, we're going to talk about how many units to order on your first order, right? Because this is a question I get all the time, and it's very important because I think a lot of people have this misconception that they should order 500 units, right, or 100 units or something crazy like that. And we're going to talk about mathematically how to break it down because it depends on what product that you're going to invest in, what niche that you found, what you think is going to be a good product after doing your due diligence, right? Because whether it's a garlic press or something that sells much more popularly or something that sells much less so than a garlic press, obviously you'd want to order different quantities, bearing in mind the long-term storage fees of over 180 days. So let's teach you guys exactly how we're going to do this. So we are going to come in and type in garlic press, obviously, which would be like the highest volume keyword related to the garlic press niche. And what we're going to do is we're going to run market intelligence here. And we are going to take this whole thing, right, the first 16 on page 1, and we are going to export. All right, we're going to open this up, and let's take a quick look, right, because what we're concerned with here is monthly sales. So monthly sales added up right here is 14,720. 14,720. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up a calculator and we're going to type in 14,720 and we're going to divide by 16. So that means that the average seller on page 1 sells 920 units per month. So if we divide that by 30, right, we see that they're selling about 30 a day on average, right? So if they're selling 30 a day on page 1, what I like to do, guys, and this is a general rule that I follow. You never want to be in stock longer than the 180-day long-term storage mark, because I showed you guys that the fees get like 20 times more expensive, and it's just crazy, right? You never want to be in stock less time than, I would argue, about 3 months, right? And the reason for that is because to get products made and to get them shipped from China on a ship available for sale in a warehouse in Amazon, I've found takes normally at the maximum about 3 months to do, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this 30 units per day times 3 months, right? 3 months times 30 days is obviously 90 days, right? Times this 30 here, we see is 2,700 units, right? And so I know that probably seems like a lot. And I'm just going to actually write this out. 30 units per day times 90 days. Right? So 2,700 units probably seems like a lot because people have like this weird misconception in their brain that they want to do 500 units to start. But I've seen this happen so many times, like even with my students, because I know it's like hard and you have to, have a lot of faith, especially to invest more money and more units. But if you do your due diligence correctly and you're actually like eye tracking and doing the 999 card trick on like as many of these people as you possibly can, right? The way that I just showed you how to do is the fast way. It's how to calculate an average for sales. But if I was going to invest money, I would be checking, at least like the top 5 with the iTrack 99 cart trick method, because that's true source from Amazon sales data. And if you can get 5 of these guys into your iTrack and you can tell, okay, they had 100 yesterday, they have 70 today, they have 40 tomorrow, then they're obviously selling 30 a day. If you know for sure from the iTrack and the 999 cart trick method on like a niche that you're going to enter, I feel 100% confident making this calculation. I feel 75% confident using market intelligence. It's the best piece of software, right? I trust them a lot from a sales perspective. And if you average out everybody on page 1, it gives you a better idea of what's going on. And if you want to be super slick with it, you can exclude these little ones right here that are review outlier and sales outlier. So we see that they have 3,700 and everyone else has significantly less right here. And so, generally I'd like to err on the side of caution. And so I would probably take out like the top maybe 2 from a sales perspective that are high. And I might take out like the top 2 that are low. So we see that that one is pretty low, and we see 220 is pretty low. So if we do this, and we export it, and this is like erring on the side of caution. I prefer to err on the side of caution, to be honest. We see now that. I don't think those actually got removed. So this is Or Blue, so we'll just remove it manually. Or Blue, Uber Chef, delete, and we'll delete Alpha Grillers, which is actually kind of sad, to be honest. And finally, we'll delete Sum Kuku. Okay, cool. So let's recalculate this and see how much it changes the average. So monthly sales, right? So now our new number is 8,256. 8,256, and we see that there is 12. So it's obviously going to be a lower number. Let's do 8,256 divided by 12 is 688 units per month. And if we do that divided by 30 days, you see it's 23 units, right? So 23 units per day times 90 days times 90 is 2,064. So it's 2,064 versus the original calculation of 2,700. And you know, whether you like to go all in and bet on the fact that Amazon is a beast, which it obviously is, or you want to err on the side of caution, there's two different ways for you to kind of do it. I'm more so kind of in this boat just because I understand the power of Amazon now, especially with like holidays. If you have a giftable item, like I recommended that you should, you know, with holidays, with Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, you know, and especially obviously Q4 from December 1st till December like 21st or 22nd, Amazon is just freaking insane. Like it's unbelievable how Amazon is. Like your sales can 2x or they can 10x. And so this is generally how I like to do it, guys, when I'm kind of doing my calculations on how many units to order. The second thing to bear in mind, let's actually err on the side of caution. Let's decide that we chose 2,064 units, right? Because that's the 23 per day times 90 days. We have one more consideration. This is units to order, but we also have to think about giveaways, right? And what giveaways are is the way that you artificially boost your listing to page one. And things have been changing a little bit, but I really don't think that Amazon's going to be able to get away from giveaways. Giveaways are probably either going to stay similar to how they are now, or people are going to have to figure out how to sell their products at full price. And then people are going to be reimbursed on PayPal, and the same type of like sales velocity is going to happen. And if this sounds like complete gibberish to you, don't worry, because we're going to talk about this really in depth in the launch module of how to get your product to page one, because it's a super important part of being, you know, a successful seller on Amazon. So these are the 2,064 units, but we actually have to think about one more thing. A giveaway means that you're basically giving away units for free to trick Amazon's algorithm into artificially putting your product onto page one. And when people are searching for garlic press and they see your product on page one, as long as you have a few good reviews and you have, you know, a very well-built listing with beautiful pictures and things like that, they're going to buy from you. And so what we have to do is do 7 days, right? Because most giveaways last between 3 and 7 days. I like to err on the side of caution here. So 7 days of giveaways times the 23 units per day is 23 times 7 is 161, right? Additionally, so we're going to type 161 here. And then we're going to add the 2,064. And so that's going to give us a final order amount of 22225. And that, guys, is how you do basic inventory forecasting. The biggest thing that, you know, would be a differential would be once you kind of understand what's going on with holidays. So like, for example, when we do inventory forecasting for one of my companies that's very gift oriented, we'll literally order 10 times as many units because we know we're going to sell 10 times as many units from December 1st to December 23rd. So 22 extra days. Instead of multiplying it by 1, we'll multiply it by 10 and we'll order that many more units. And so when you're first getting started, it's very, very difficult to do that. And so I generally recommend that you err on the side of caution unless you have some disposable income and you want to bet on Amazon. right? What you can do if you want to be a little bit more risky is you can come into like camel, for example, and let's just choose one of these really quick. So let's choose the good old alpha thrillers. We'll grab the ace in here. We'll put this in. And then what we can do is we can look at the sales rank and we can actually look at when things spiked up. So if we look at May, October, March, August, right? So this is August of 2015. We see September of 2017 here. So we see that there's no major change for this particular product with the BSR. It's very, very consistently extremely high, right? So it's been selling a ton all year round. There's no major spike for Christmas. But like, for example, if we went in here and typed in like Christmas stockings or something like that, we might see something different. Let's take a look. We're going to skip the sponsored ones and just come into this top one. Grab this here. We're going to paste in this ASIN into camel. And what I would expect to see is really high little rankings, right around Christmas. So you see that like in June, they drop all the way down to 810,000 in the bestseller ranking. But then right when it gets to November and December right here, it jumps all the way up to being like literally almost at number one. Meaning these are selling like absolutely crazy, obviously all right around Q4 and Christmas time. And this is an extreme example because it's literally Christmas stockings. But you can tell if things are seasonal around, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, like Halloween costumes. Or I have friends who sell Halloween costumes. I have friends who sell paper plates that have footballs on them, and they sell them one time a year just for Super Bowl parties, and they literally make like hundreds of thousands of dollars in that one like week or two leading up to the Super Bowl because they just sell just an unbelievable amount of paper plates. And so that, guys, is how you do inventory forecasting. Again, just to kind of summarize, what we're doing is we are literally doing a kind of a viral launch. We're doing a summation of the amount sold, kind of taking out the outliers, dividing it by 30, right? Because these are monthly sales to get kind of a per day number of sales, just because it makes it easier. Obviously, you can just multiply it by 3 if you want also, but it just makes it easier for me to get per day because it helps with giveaways and things like that. Once you have per day, then I multiply it by 90 days because I like to have 3 months stock. I like to order 3 months stock because that's generally how long it takes to reorder. So once you kind of start to get low, a little bit lower, then you reorder, right? Once you kind of get that, once you get your feet wet, once you feel those sales, once you kind of start to see, okay, this does work, I can make a bunch of money doing this if I'm doing things correctly, then you'll start to get a sense of how many you're actually consistently selling, how many you start to sell for holidays and things like that. And then if you're riskier, you can look at camel and Google Trends and things like that to see and try to guess maybe ordering more units. But sometimes it's fun selling out and just not having like the kind of stress and feeling like you're ordering way too much. And so that's kind of how you order for 90 days. You never want to reach that 180-day long-term storage, guys. I know that I provided you value, so what I want you to do is to like this video. I want you to leave a comment on this video. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe, turn on notification bells so that you will be the first person to be notified every time we drop a brand new video. If you want to learn more, I do have a completely free course, and there will be a link down underneath this description, guys. Completely for free, 100%. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and let's get to the next.